Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. It would be an understatement to say we've been waiting a while for this watch, though the BLRO, the Bleu et the Rouge Pepsi bezel was perhaps more heralded at Basel World 2018. The steel Pepsi is something that could have been purchased in relatively recent Rolex history, whereas the watch on my wrist, a GMT-Master II in Everose rose gold, is a historic first. This is a timepiece, the reference 126715, that is the first in the history of the GMT-Master series, never executed in rose gold, now for the first time in Rolex's proprietary Everose, exceptionally red, platinum-infused, and fade-resistant rose gold alloy. You can see the watch on the wrist is classically easy to wear. A 40mm case, you can see it's a super case profile. Not much changes about the lines of the watch. It still wears like a 40 with a bit more wrist presence than that. The timepiece still slim, 12.3mm thick, and of course this one on the Oyster bracelet, a bit broader across the wrist than the sub 50mm lug-to-lug span of the new Jubilee. This watch, a substantial 51 across the wrist, lug-to-lug. If you were to venture to wear it on a strap, it would be a 48mm case lug-to-lug. The lug spacing remains 20mm for those of you who like to accessorize, but I cannot imagine wearing this watch on anything but the Rolex Oyster bracelet. Now you'll note the Oyster bracelet beautifully blazoned in Everose red gold, and of course double finished with both polish down the center and on the flanks, and a satin finish on the shoulders. The clasp is remarkably deluxe, beautifully finished on the inside, the hallmark of one of Rolex's flagship models. Entry-level models are generally media blasted. It closes with a reassuring snick and snap, as you'll note the recess, both longitudinal and horizontal, allowing the clamshell to fit absolutely flush when closed. Now you'll also note that Easy Link, the 5mm quick adjustment system, present and correct. Take it in, take it out. It's the equivalent of adding or subtracting one sizable link. And of course, on the underside, ergonomics coming to the fore. You'll note large channels for ventilating the wrist, as well as scalloped portions between links to avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. Now, the bezel itself is a sight to behold. Let's get a little bit closer now that the watch is off the wrist and talk about the Cerachrom bezel. Effectively as scratch resistant as the sapphire crystal, the Cerachrom is a proprietary Rolex technology, very hard and resilient. You can see twin colors co-molded without any blurring of them at the demarcation point, very precisely crafted. Also, all of the recesses for indices, the triangular index as well as the numerals, filled with precious metal, so rose gold on the outside of the bezel, rose gold on the inside of the bezel, bidirectional rotating because it is a GMT, not a diving bezel. You can align it with the secondary hour indications, and temporarily, using the GMT offset of your destination port or airport, find 3 simultaneous time zones. This one is all warmth, with gorgeous, endearing tones that appeal to the heart as well as the head. And you'll note that's true of the dial, where Rolex's large indices in rose gold match corresponding hands in rose gold at center. Also, the watch features Rolex's proprietary Chromolite luminescence system, so robustly luminescent, it is a all-weather day and night sports watch, even as the 12.3mm thickness makes it perfectly appropriate for formal sartorial circumstances. Now inside, Rolex's new superlative chronometer caliber 3285, 70-hour power reserve. A number of refinements make it distinct from the outgoing 3186 first, a 70-hour power reserve versus 48. Rolex modified the barrel for a larger mainspring and a thinner barrel wall, so more power, reprofiled the train wheels, and added the ultra-efficient proprietary Chronergy escapement system, which is how Rolex does the Swiss lever in the 21st century. So you have the 70-hour power reserve still beating away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. The superlative chronometer standard means that yes, the watch meets the standards of ISO 3159, which would be the COSC standards, but then as a fully cased up watch, Rolex imposes its own timing standards to ensure that standards as tight as +2, -2 per day obtain as a finished product. The COSC tests movements alone. Full balance bridge with a free-sprung index for robust shock resistance. This is a tough watch. It also features an overcoil hairspring for positional resistance to gravitationally induced timing deviation, and Rolex's proprietary Parachrom Blue alloy for anti-magnetism. It is a highly resistant setup, and with a screw-down crown, a screwed-in caseback, and Oyster case. This is a aquatic watch, so perfectly appropriate for pilots, but also for seaplane pilots with its 100-meter resistance. Okay, Rolex GMT-Master II 126715 in red gold glows Rolex Chromolite Blue by Night.